A reminder that this service is offered in this place, this sacred place, as well as from each of our hearts, in loving memory of Liam, who was born on the 16th of July 1976, whose soul passed from this world into God's eternal keeping on the 30th of last month. You'll notice from the service booklet that in the course of this service we have the opportunity to reflect in a number of different ways, to reflect through words and song aspects of Liam's life, his character, his attitude, his nature, his spirit, his heart. We have the opportunity also to listen to personal reflections which are offered not just as personal indications of how particular people have shared some very special times with Liam, but offered on a much broader span, a much broader canvas, seeking to paint for each of us the many memories and echoes of our own experience which we have been able to share with Liam from his earliest years right through until the latter years.
Nearly 23 years ago, I was working at Knightsmith School. One day I was walking along the corridor when I rounded the corner and tearing towards me at high speed was this tall lad with a mop of gingery curly hair. I flinched, ready to be knocked flying, when this lad of 16 stopped abruptly in front of me, gave me the cheekiest grin I've ever seen, patted me on the head, and with a twinkle in his eyes, said, "Oops, I've got to run." Behind him came a small plump teacher with a beetroot face, puffing and panting, trying to catch him. Yes, that was my introduction to Liam. I later heard that he'd been asked to wash up after cooking, but had disappeared and flooded the toilets instead. Over the next few months, I regularly saw Liam running from teachers. Each time I got that cheeky grin, a pat on the head as he ran past me at high speed. For reasons such as setting off the fire alarm, telling teachers where they could go, putting paper in the toaster, dropping a pot of paint on another pupil's head. Oh yes, he also told the class one day he brought a snake into school, but had accidentally lost it. This caused mayhem. Yes, Liam was a little bugger. Things got so bad that a letter was sent home one day complaining about Liam's behaviour. The result was that Dad promptly arrived at school and the head teacher was found being held up against the wall with his legs dangling, whilst being told, "You're a school, why can't you teach him?" Of course, as you can imagine, Liam found this hilarious and continued to share this story throughout his life. But the head teacher had seen that same cheeky grin and that twinkle in Liam's eye, and we encouraged him to join us on holidays. On the first holiday, I saw something that amazed me. Among the small group of children that came with us, there was a young girl who used a wheelchair, could not talk or feed herself. She appeared very unhappy from the first day of the holiday. That evening I was in the kitchen making dinner when I heard this girl laugh. I looked round the corner and there was Liam, pulling the most ridiculous faces and making the rudest noises you can imagine just to make this girl laugh. He did this over and over again. At dinner she did not want to eat her food for me and Liam said, "Can I do it? She likes me." I've got to be honest, I was a little worried thinking of Liam's recent behaviour, but I said, "Yeah, sure." And I gave him a spoon. She laughed and she ate all of her dinner. Throughout that week he talked to her, he made her laugh a lot and pushed her wheelchair and built an incredible friendship. Oh, don't worry, he still remained the same Liam. And one evening the head teacher and Liam popped out for a drink. 2 hours later they returned, both falling in the door paralytic, with tales of chatting up girls in the clubhouse. Years later Liam continued to tell everyone that the next morning I cooked them both a fry-up and insisted they ate it whilst moaning about their hangovers. Liam continued over the next few years to come on school holidays, often as a helper to his friend. Where the friendship grew and grew, Liam started to speak for her, complain for her and stick up for her. Yes, Liam's true self began to shine through. He cared for others and believed in others. He made a point of sitting with her in school, making sure she was never left out of anything. When Liam could not be with her, he continued to cause havoc and make everyone laugh. On one holiday, which was an activity holiday, his friend could not come. Liam was the life and soul of this trip, but for all the wrong reasons. He deliberately sank a canoe, capsized a raft in the River Handle with all of us on it, told tall tales of bare-knuckle fighting and smoking grass in Tilbury. To the point that one day he pointed to the grass on the ground and said, "I need a spliff." He promptly pulled up some grass, rolled it in some letter paper and asked for a light. I was so curious of what he was going to do next, I actually gave him a lighter. Yes, you guessed it, he lit this enormous roll of grass, took one puff, and I've never seen anyone cough so much. I could not stop laughing.
Who am I? I'm really just someone who was actually employed by Liam. I know not many people believed him when he used to say he was my director and my boss, but he actually was. The truth about Liam, he had a label that he didn't like, and it was learning difficulty. But actually, I used to sometimes think he was just simply difficult. And that's what I loved about him. Him and I have got in very many scrapes, some of which I can't tell here, but may tell later if you ask me nicely. He told me that my job today is to make you all laugh. Every single piece of music that you've heard has been chosen by him, and trust me, we had very long lists and we spent many car journeys together where Liam would accompany me around the country giving talks about the work that he had achieved. So it feels a bit weird to be doing this on my own. But he was extraordinary, and I mean extraordinary. That was Liam, and so were his family. His family have been absolutely fantastic. Mum, sister, Rose, everybody, uncles, aunties have been amazing. But it was way back when he left school, when Marion finished working with that I met him. And at that time he was building sheds. And the reason I was asked to go and look at that place was because they'd lost all their tools, because Liam had put them all in the bin. What he actually said to me was, "I'm only paid £1 a day, and if I'm late they fine me 50p, that can't be right, can it?" And I was saying, no, that's not right actually. And so our relationship blossomed from there really. He used to exaggerate and make out I'd arrived on a motorbike and rescued him from this place and driven off, and we used to laugh about him. It would take me too long to tell you all the Liam stories, but he had the strongest sense of values of anyone I knew. He believed in humanity. He believed in the strong family values. He always spoke up for the underdog. He hated unfairness. He had a powerful energy inside, exactly like the song, that was so strong and contagious with this very, very, very twinkly blue eyes. And he helped coin the term equal value partners. The first song that we heard today, rather the second song that we heard, Liam, we were once I was going to have to do a very difficult talk just as staff, and I was very concerned about changing their attitudes, and Liam turned up with a CD player and he just played that song completely out of the blue. And all the words, that's why they're printed in there, read them, because that's what Liam believed in. Anyway, I have a short list of stories that I promised Father Tim wouldn't go on too long. First one is entitled By the Neck. And the reason it's entitled By the Neck is it obviously runs in the family, because I was nervous one day and Liam had been chosen as an ambassador for Thurrock Council. Let's just think about that. Liam was an ambassador representing Thurrock in Poland. So we're waiting to catch an airplane. I was nervous. He's never nervous, he's just messing around and chatting to everyone. The mayor turned up and I panicked a little bit. Oh yeah, I said, this is Liam, he's one of our service users. It's the last time I ever used that expression because I was held by the neck off the floor for a few seconds. When we were in Poland, Liam was amazing. He has this ability to communicate with people that perhaps can't communicate very well. So we were looking around the House of Social Assistance, it was called, and while we were there, we were really worried, him and I, in the car. We were talking about what if it's horrible, what if people with learning disabilities are being badly treated, what we're going to do. When we got there, it wasn't actually too bad, but the reality was there were people there who had no verbal skills, and obviously people that didn't speak English. But I lost Liam as ever, because he had a habit of disappearing on me. Found him eventually in a room, and he was chatting away to some Polish guy in a wheelchair. And I said to him, how do you understand what he's saying? And he said, watch his legs. And the guy's legs were shaking. And Liam had figured that if the guy shook his left leg, it meant he was happy. If his right leg was a no. And the staff were just amazed that he did this. The next funny thing that happened in Poland was the interpreter came to see me to say, we're having trouble understanding this man, we don't know what he says. And I said, well, what's he said to you? He said he is speaking Tilbury. What is Tilbury? Liam and I, forever talking fast and using, he taught me a few expressions which are appropriate for here. But we got there. On another night in Poland, now remember, we're representing the local authority. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, I can assure you. They called me a lightweight, I had to go to bed. He went downstairs in the hotel and he was in, I'll never forget my image of him, a complete gambling house. There's a great big table with a roulette wheel and cards and everything, and sitting at the end is Liam with a big cigar on, and all the local ne'er-do-wells of this town. And I'm thinking, oh, I can't deal with this. So I went to bed. 4 o'clock in the morning, I can hear knock, 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 we're in the money, knock, 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 we're in the money. One floor higher than where we were staying, and knocking and woke every single Polish person up. He'd won at gambling with these Polish characters, and he'd won the equivalent of about 60 quid. What do you think Liam did with that money? I'll tell you what he did with that money. He gave it to the chambermaid in the hotel, because that was Liam, his generosity. So, Thurrock Lifestyle Solutions, Liam was one of the original directors. And like the song says, sometimes he felt there were barriers, and sometimes he felt he had to get really tall to get over them. But one of the things he wanted me to say today, that he was very, very clear about, was that he forgives everybody. He forgives all the people that didn't believe in him. He forgives all the people that didn't believe in setting up the TLS where we did it. One of the other scrapes him and I got into, so we had this mad idea. We were in trouble, so we had to meet after work, because we weren't allowed to set the company up as part of my council job at the time. So we used to meet in secret in one of our buildings after it closed. So we were all there having these conversations about how to set the company up, and then we put a bid in to the Department of Health. Our bid was for £100,000, which is a lot of money. We went to the Department of Health, all these really posh people there, and Liam and I sat there. Liam starts going into one about the company and all these exciting things we could do, and then one of them said, oh, you know, we've got some spare capital money. And Liam says to me, so what's that then? I said, oh, well, you know, it's money you can buy things with. He told them a complete and total lie, that we had a business plan to buy 2 houses. It wasn't true at all. But we walked out there with £705,000. So the 2 houses that TLS owned were on the back of Liam's work, not my work, Liam's work. On the train on the way home, he kept saying to me, write that number down, write that number down. That's like a lottery win, isn't it? I'm going, yeah, and now I've got to write a business plan before I go to bed tonight. Thank you. The other side of Liam was quite a psychic side. He had a way of understanding people that was really, he tuned in straight away when he was in a room. So on the train once, we were often up in London doing stuff on the train on the way back to Grays once. We just got chatting to people because it had been delayed, and because you're with Liam, everyone ends up talking to you. So he's chatting away to people on the carriage, and there was a young woman there, and Liam was chatting to her. And then I don't know how it came about, she said to him, I bet you can't guess what I do for a living. And I looked at her and I thought, oh, I don't know, maybe a cleaner or something. She was quite scruffy, etc. And what he said was, you're a lawyer. And she went, how on earth did you know that? And that's very, very Liam. He just tuned into people. He could pick up a second sentence. His other sense of fairness I saw demonstrated many times. Many times we had long days working in Grays, and so at the end of the day we were trying to grab something to eat and take away. In Grays Town, we were in a chip shop, and you know when you're in Grays and there's just one of those tiny children that looks a little bit too scruffy, they're out too late at night on their own, and Liam was saying to me, I don't know where his mum is, and he shouldn't be out there. I'm saying, shut up, whatever. Anyway, so we're looking at the chip shop. Next time I turn around, Liam says, you've got to buy me some fish and chips. I said, why, you had some money? And I looked around, this kid had the biggest packet of fish and chips you've seen in your life, because Liam bought it for him and sent him on his way. That's a very Liam story, to give it all away. So he's someone that can never be forgotten. When you look at the front bench of the House of Commons and you see the cabinet sitting there, on one side you've got a guy called Jeremy Hunt, and trust me, Liam and I had to practice saying that name many times. On the other side, Francis Maud. So they're both friends of David Cameron, yeah? For whatever reasons, because we're a pathfinder for the Department of Health, because of the way Liam is, Westminster do drop in and see us, so we've had both those people in our offices. When Francis Maud arrived, Liam sat next to me, and he was obviously getting a bit bored, so he started getting a bit wicked, you know, a little twinkle in his eye. And what he said to him was, suddenly he went, "Why mate," he said, "are you a cousin of that Cameron bloke?" Francis Maud said, oh, "I'm not related to him." He said, "Oh, that's funny, and you said you all went to the same school and you're related." Anyway, so what is Liam's legacy? Well, hundreds of disabled people were supported to live the lifestyle of their choice, hopefully, their choice and control in Thurrock. And we've promised Liam that we'll continue to fight them in his memory. The 30th of April will forever be a special day where we run events to check that the vulnerable people of Thurrock have their annual health checks, as that's something that Liam was passionate about. And Liam's wish to lower the barriers will live on, and Thurrock Lifestyle Solutions will be forever powered onwards from his energy and from the love that he gave to us all. Liam, I thank you for showing me the way, and I'm absolutely delighted to have met you in my life. Thank you.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever.